This is a book named Ricky, the Rock That Couldn't Roll by Jane Milton Sky and illustrated by Erin Wozniak. Over the lake and out past the bay was a green grassy hill where the rocks came to play. They would race to the top to look in the view and roll their way down the way rocks love to do. There was Kip, Pip, and Chester, and Marvin the Boulder. Igneous played too, though he was much older. And a group called the Pebbles never ever sat still, ziggy-zagging their way up over the hill. Kaya was a meteorite and not from this planet. And Maya was lava, but not and was taken for granted. Stu was the smart one, Parker the clown, and grumpy old Abert rolled round with a frown. Gabby was sassy, Leslie had flair, and Emma was giggly, and Hud had black hair. But the one trait that seemed to be shared by them all was that every rock there was shaped like a ball. And because they were round, they could easily roll through the grass and the lake, up and over the knoll. Except for poor Ricky, who quietly sat. You see, Ricky couldn't roll because one side was flat. His friends didn't get it. Come roll, they would chat. So Ricky cried, but replied, I'm sorry, I can't. But the rocks were determined they were sure they could solve Ricky's flat-sided problems and help him revolve. So Marvin the Boulder, with his impressive physique, carried Ricky all the way to the hill's grassy peak. Then he pushed him downhill, yelling, Keep rolling, kid! But Ricky didn't roll. He just kind of slid. Well, the rocks weren't done, not by a mile. Surely this next try would get Ricky to smile. They stuck rubber balls all over Ricky, using big globs of glue to get them to stick. They were proud of themselves. This will work, they announced, but Ricky still couldn't roll. Now he just sort of bounced. Well, they pushed and they pulled, trying every which way to get Ricky to roll, but by the end of the day, nothing had worked just like Ricky expected, and ended up feeling depressed and dejected. It's no use, Ricky sighed. There just isn't a way, so I'll sit off to the side and watch you all play. But his friends wouldn't quit. Well, we're here for you, brother, and we'll get you to roll one way or another. So they pondered and thought, each straining his brain, till they looked up and saw it was starting to rain. And that's when it hit the stone named Stu. Eureka, he shouted. I just know what to do. He explained to them how they could get Ricky to tumble. My plan is pure genius. Stu wasn't too humble. They carried down our hero down to the road but a mile, to the lake where they gathered up mud they could pile on the side of Ricky, creating a mound that they shaped, smothered, and sculpted until it was round. Then after the rain, with the sun in the sky, they left him to bake till the mud was all dry. They gathered up vines and one colorful feather that they wrapped all around Ricky to keep it together. When the last knot was tied and the work was all done, the only step left was for Ricky to have fun. They stood back and watched, feeling nervous and tense, as Ricky breathed in deep with increasing suspense. He moved slowly at first, testing out his new mold, and then for the first time, Ricky the Rock rolled. So Bria the ladybug, who'd been there from the start, felt a surge of joy swelling in her heart. She thought, as soon as she watched her friends play on the hill, that there's always a way if there's always a will. And she said to herself as Ricky rolled down the slope, when you're surrounded by love, you always have hope. The end. Ricky the Rock That Couldn't Roll.